What's up, Marwan fans? Welcome back to another review of the Breaker New Ways, this week's chapter 198. So this was quite an enjoyable chapter this week. As I said, I am a fan of aftermaths and wrap-ups, and this chapter is doing quite well to build up the process of finishing off part 2. Have to admit, the beginning was downright depressing. I guess I was probably still in denial about Elder Kwon's death and was kind of hoping for a compromise that he lived, but no, indeed, I feel like Shi-Woon's account of the situation was probably the best way to explain how I felt. Was it a dream? And then when he wakes up and actually sees, the shrine for Elder Kwon in the funeral, he is brought with this immediate realization, a reality. He is indeed gone. He's gone. That's it. And I just really do feel upset because he was such a fun character. As I said, he's badass lines, he's badass moves. His character in general was badass, and it's a shame to see him go. I'm definitely gonna miss him. But the scene there was really, as I said, heartfelt. Literally everyone there, majority of the SunWoo clan members were crying. Seeing Jin-Ie literally on her knees breaking in the absolute tears. As I said, that was expected, but I just don't think I was ready to see it. It's like, you expected it, but still couldn't prepare yourself for it. And then obviously Shi-Woon finally comes to realization. It's like, that's right, it's not a dream, otherwise my heart wouldn't be feeling this kind of pain. So yeah, as I said, this is the second time he's had to go through something like this, and obviously I feel like this has probably been worse than Elder Jong's death, because obviously Chun-Woo was the cause of this one. But speaking of the actual funeral, you might also say turnout, the people that arrived, there was actually quite a lot, and I wasn't really particularly interested with the elders that turned up because I'm kind of bitter towards them. But the you might as well say the Murim-In children that arrived was really good to see. I did enjoy that, and it's like they kind of came obviously for Shi-Woon. It was, for Elder Kwon's sake, but I feel like they were there for Shi-Woon's sake and support. Particularly, it was Gia Gunn's entourage in a way, because everyone knows Gia Gunn, and Gia Gunn's there, so everyone's come to support him and help him support Shi-Woon. So that was good to see. But as I said, with the elders, I feel bitter towards them. I don't feel like their attendance was needed at all. It didn't seem sincere, and it didn't feel like they were showing any sort of respect to Kang's Elder Kwon or the SunWoo clan. It seemed like they just gathered to gossip about the SunWoo's clan state of, in the Murim world, considering that they're much weaker now with Elder Kwon's death. And it seemed like they just wanted to gossip about, the fact that, the Nine Arts Dragon student fought the Nine Arts Dragon himself. So it's like they're just kind of getting some sort of enjoyment out of it. That's the way I saw it anyway. But I could be wrong. They could generally be there to, see out, a Grandmaster and respect him. But as I said, either way, I'm still not really fond of them. So that's the way I feel about it. But despite that, they did bring up some interesting thoughts that imply Shi-Woon may not be able to learn the SunWoo clan's arts, and because considering he's originally a student from the Black Heaven and Earth School, so it's kind of implying that he might not have any choice but to actually go and learn the Black Heaven and Earth style completely properly. And it's making me think, unless a new teacher pops up, the only person who was available to do that would be Ryuji, but he's leaving now, so unless he comes back, he's kind of out of the question. But maybe, he'll return, and obviously Chun-Woo is completely out of the question now. So that's what it seems like this chapter is implying. But when you think of Shi-Woon as a character, I'd say his presence, or I should say him as a person, is kind of different from most Murim-Ins. He's shown that he can mimic and copy abilities and techniques quite well just by seeing it. So maybe he doesn't have to just learn the Black Heaven and Earth School. Maybe he could adopt the SunWoo clan school. He could even be taught by Kang-Sung, or he could even be taught by Ju-San-Sik himself, and learn the basics and become a formidable Murim-In. So I don't think we should be or tricked into saying that he's only limited to learning the Black Heaven and Earth School. I think that could be the foundation for what he should learn from from the start. But if anything, if he can't, he could still, in our opinion, he could learn the SunWoo arts, as I said, Kang-Sung, Ju-Sen-Si. So we'll have to see what's going to happen with that. But as I said, the last part of this chapter was actually enjoyable. We had a confrontation between Gia Gunn and Younghoon, and it was very well played out. There's a lot of bad blood between them. So Gia Gunn, you know, seeing him there, he was outraged. He's like, you got some nerve coming here. You're damn well brave, and it's in some ways it is right for him to be outraged, considering the SUC are somewhat part of the reason Elder Kwon has died, and also the fact that the Shin-Ho clan lost a lot of members who were Gia Gunn's friend, you know, is technically connected to him. So it's just like he obviously just can't stand him being there. But what I like about Young-Hyun is he's generally there to pay respects. You can tell he wants to pay respects to Elder Kwon. He was a great martial artist, and the thing is, Young-Hyun has always been a respectable guy. So the fact that he was there and you showed these respects, despite, you know, he's coming into enemy territory, everyone could attack him. He's come there to pay his respect, and he also furthermore apologized to Jae-Gal for the deaths of his friends in the Shin-Ho clan. So I generally think he's there in sincere, I'd say, reasons, unlike the elders. And funny enough, this kind of strikes a nerve in Jae-Gal, but it's a positive one. Jae-Gal was like, if you weren't there that day, you know, to draw me out, I could have died. I don't know why you did it, but the thing is, your apology isn't going to bring my dead friends back. So he actually proposes an alliance. If anything, it was a forced one, where he basically says, you know, become my ally for the sake of my dead friends, and don't refuse me, or I'll kill you. So that's kind of nice to see that, because as I said, I've liked Young-Hoon for quite a while. He is a respectable man. We've seen this in the duels with Shi-Woon, where he will fight fairly. So it's kind of good to see him change sides and defect from the SUC, and that would make him the second person to do that, because Ryuji is completely done with the SUC and the Murim world in general. Now that Young-Hoon is left, that's 2 members gone. So it makes me think, will Ji-Woo leave as well, because she didn't seem too fond of being part of the SUC anymore, and obviously she has sort of, you know, connections with Young-Hoon and Gia Gunn themselves, so maybe she'll leave as well. And the only things I can think now to finish off part 2 well is we need to see, in my opinion, what Shi-Ho's condition is. If she could wake up, or they'd show a glimpse of like her fingers moving or something, her waking up, that would be good to see. And also So-Chun, his absence at the funeral is worrying, and it's making me think we need to see what he's thinking right now. It could be, you know, he was simply at Jung Chan's funeral, considering, you know, his brother was killed, so he wants to pay respects to him and treat that. But at the same time, I have this feeling that he most likely might be blaming Shi-Woon and the SunWoo clan for his death. And he has mentioned before, you know, anyone who attacks my clan, I will result in retaliation from him. So I really want that to be cleared up. I want to know if he actually blames Shi-Woon and the SunWoo clan, or he's just generally doing his own thing. That's things that definitely need to be cleared up before part 2 ends, because it may actually end in the next 2 chapters and finish on 200. So yeah, as I said, enjoyable chapter, depressing, quite, I'd say, heartfelt and hopeful towards the end. So I'm definitely looking forward to see what happens in the next few chapters. But you heard the usual from me. If you enjoyed this chapter, let me know what you think, and I'll speak to you guys next time. Take care.